A coup d'état or just coup is the removal and seizure of a government and its powers. Typically, it is an illegal, unconstitutional seizure of power by a political faction, the military, or a dictator. Many scholars consider a coup successful when the usurpers seize and hold power for at least 7 days. The term comes from French coup d'état, literally meaning a stroke of state or blow of state. In French, the word état is capitalized when it denotes a sovereign political entity. Although the concept of a coup d'état has featured in politics since antiquity, the phrase is of relatively recent coinage. The Oxford English Dictionary identifies it as a French expression meaning a stroke of state. The phrase did not appear within an English text before the 19th century except when used in translation of a French source, there being no simple phrase in English to convey the contextualized idea of a knockout blow to the existing administration within a state. One early use within text translated from French was in 1785 in a printed translation of a letter from a French merchant, commenting on an arbitrary decree or arrêt issued by the French king restricting the import of British wool. What may be its first published use within a text composed in English as an editor's note in the London Morning Chronicle, the 7th of January 1802, reporting the arrest by Napoleon in France of Moreau, Berthier, Massena, and Bernadotte. There was a report in circulation yesterday of a sort of coup d'état having taken place in France, in consequence of some formidable conspiracy against the existing government. In British propaganda, the phrase came to be used to describe the various murders by Napoleon's alleged secret police, the gens d'armes d'élite, who executed the Duke of Enghien, the actors in torture, the distributors of the poisoning draughts, and the secret executioners of those unfortunate individuals or families, whom Bonaparte's measures of safety require to remove, in what revolutionary tyrants call grand coups d'état, as butchering, or poisoning, or drowning, en masse. They are exclusively employed. Putsch, from Swiss German, knock, is another word for coup, used for the 1920 Cap Putsch and other coups in Weimar Germany such as the Kustrun Putsch and the failed 1923 Beer Hall Putsch by Adolf Hitler. The 1961 Algiers Putsch and the 1991 August Putsch also use the term. In German, the term was initially coined for the Zudi Putsch of 6 September 1839 in Switzerland. Putsch denotes the politico-military actions of an unsuccessful minority reactionary coup. During the Night of the Long Knives in 1934, putsch was used as disinformation by Hitler and other Nazi Party members to falsely claim that they had to suppress a reactionary coup. Germans still use the term Rome Putsch to describe the event, the term given to it by the Nazi regime, despite the unproven implication that the murders were necessary to prevent a coup. Thus, German authors often use quotation marks or write about the sogenannte Rome Putsch for emphasis. Pronunciamiento is a term of Spanish origin for a special type of coup d'état. The pronunciamiento is the formal explanation for deposing the regnant government, justifying the installation of the new government that was effected with the golpe de Estado. A barracks revolt, or cuartelazo, is also a term for military revolt. From the Spanish term cuartel, specific military garrisons are the sparking factor for a larger military revolt against the government. One author makes a distinction between a coup and a pronunciamiento. In a coup, it is the military, paramilitary, or opposing political faction that deposes the current government and assumes power. Whereas, in the pronunciamiento, the military deposes the existing government and installs an ostensibly civilian government. Since the 20th century, an increasing proliferation of terms has arisen to describe various kinds of actual or attempted unilateral seizures of power. These phenomena, sometimes called coups with adjectives, include the question of which term, if any, is applicable to a given political event can be a subjective matter and carries normative, analytical, and political implications. According to Clayton Thine and Jonathan Powell's coup dataset, there were 457 coup attempts from 1950 to 2010, of which 227 Asia and the Middle East have experienced 13.1% and 15.8% of total global coups, respectively. Europe has experienced by far the fewest coup attempts, 2.6%. Most coup attempts occurred in the mid-1960s. But there were also large numbers of coup attempts in the mid-1970s and the early 1990s. From 1950 to 2010, a majority of coups failed in the Middle East and Latin America. They had a somewhat higher chance of success in Africa and Asia. Numbers of successful coups have decreased over time. Coups occurring in the post-Cold War period have been more likely to result in democratic systems than pre-Cold War coups. Though